Good morning, students. Today we are starting off with the new chapter, that is reproduction in animals. Reproduction is a biological process by which new organisms are produced. So reproduction produces new organism. Now reproduction is one of the important characteristic feature of the living organism as it maintains continuity of life. If reproduction was eliminated, then the progeny wouldn't have continued, or it leads to the extinction of a particular organism. So reproduction is very important characteristic of an organism. Now reproduction is of two types. One is asexual reproduction, the other one is sexual reproduction. In asexual reproduction, it occurs in unicellular organisms and lower animals. So, asexual reproduction, here we see only one parent is involved in asexual reproduction, and it is seen in single-celled organism and also lower animals. And here the organism is an identical copy of the parent. Sexual reproduction, it occurs in most multicellular animals. Over here, two parents are involved, whereas in asexual reproduction, just one parent was involved. Here, we see that the organism that is being produced, or the daughter cells that are being produced, or the progeny are not identical to the parent. There is variation or there is difference. They are not exact copy of the parent. As asexual reproduction in animals, there is no sex organs are involved. Here, no sex organs are involved, as well as no gametes or sex cells are involved. It is seen, asexual reproduction is also seen in plants. Now let's look into the various types of asexual reproduction. First one is budding. Here in budding we see a bulb-like projection called a bud is formed on the parent body. And on maturation, the bud gets detached. Example is hydra and yeast. Look into this particular diagram. This is yeast. And over here we see that this is a eukaryotic cell. When yeast matures, okay, the bud gets detached from it. Initially, there is a small tiny outgrowth that is being formed from the parent body, and then there is division of the nucleus. The daughter cell also needs a nucleus, right? So the nucleus has to divide. So there is division of the nucleus, and then the nucleus is pushed into the bud, and even the cytoplasm is being divided and then pushed into the bud. And finally, once this bud matures, we see that it gets detached. Gemmules or internal buds, they are formed within an organism, as the name suggests. Here parents released a specialized mass of cells that can develop into an offspring. So the specialized mass of cells are produced within the parent body. Example, sponges. Regeneration. If a piece from the body of a parent is detached, it can grow into completely new individual. Example, starfish. When you try to break the arms of the starfish, you can see that it can develop into a whole new organism. Same way with our skin. Our skin can regenerate. Suppose if there is wear and tear of the skin, we see that it eventually regenerates. Apart from this, even the lizard, sometimes the lizard's tail gets detached and it can regenerate its tail. This is about regeneration. Next, moving on to binary fission. It is seen in single-celled organisms like bacteria and amoeba. It begins with the division of the nucleus, which is followed by the division of the cell. Since two individuals are formed, it is called binary fission. Bi means two. The two individuals produced by fissions are called daughter cell. Now, this is amoeba. There's one nucleus here. We see that slowly the nucleus divides into two, and there is also distribution of cytoplasm, and then slowly we see that the two daughter cells are being formed from the single parent. And since two cells are being produced, it is known as binary fission. Now, what are the characteristics of asexual reproduction? In asexual reproduction, since the offspring arises from the single parent, it receives gene from one parent only. Hence, it does not show variations. Variations means change. There is a difference. So over here, since it receives a genetic material from a single parent, so there is no difference that is seen. They are identical to the parent. Example, starfish. Starfish, the regeneration takes place over there. If you look at the daughter organism and the parent, they are identical to each other. Sexual reproduction in animals. It involves the involvement of two individuals, one male and one female. So over here we see two organisms are involved in sexual reproduction. Now both male and females have special organs for this purpose. So they have reproductive structures which produces a specialized cells called as gametes, are produced by the reproductive organs. So gametes are produced within the reproductive organs. The male gamete is known as sperm, whereas the female gamete is known as ovum or egg. The union of these two gametes result in the formation of a zygote. The process of union of sperm and ovum is termed as fertilization. See, by the union of the two gametes, a single cell zygote is being produced, and the zygote further divides to form embryo. And this process of fusion of male and female gamete is known as fertilization. Now, fertilization is of two types. One is external fertilization, the other one is internal fertilization. External fertilization, this is commonly seen in aquatic animals, for example, fish and frogs. Now the eggs are released, or this is also known as spawned. So the eggs are released by females in the water where they are fertilized by the sperms released by the males. We know frogs are amphibians. They can live on both land and in water. At the time of fertilization, they move to the water and the eggs are released in the water. And they are fertilized by the sperms which is released by the males. Now, amphibians like frogs and toads shift from land to water bodies like ponds and streams during rainy season. So when the male and female come together, the female lays hundreds of eggs. Now, though the female lays hundreds of eggs, don't think that each and every egg will survive. No. Few of them might be eaten up by the aquatic organism. So there are several reasons for these hundreds of eggs not to survive. Only very few eggs will survive. These eggs are covered with a jelly-like substance to protect them. Now the male deposits the sperms directly over these eggs. So the sperms are being directly deposited onto these eggs. The sperms have a long tail which helps them to swim in water and fertilize the egg. So these sperms, they have a tail. Okay, so now this tail helps them to move towards the egg and fertilize it. Since the fusion of the gametes takes place outside the body of the female, it is called external fertilization. Since the eggs are released outside and the sperms are released outside, and the fertilization is also happening outside, it's known as external fertilization. After fertilization, the embryo continues to grow within their egg coverings. After the embryo develops, the egg hatches into young ones. See, I have told you that fusion of male and female gametes result in the formation of zygote. The zygote is a single celled. Now it divides further to form a structure called as an embryo, and it is an embryo that gives rise to, further develops and gives rise to young one. Once the young ones are formed, the eggs hatch and the young ones are released. And remember, the sperms are deposited on the eggs and fertilization takes place.